Tensions continue to rise in Minneapolis and across the nation after federal agents kill a second person in less than 3 weeks.
We saw him die with empty hands, and we will not forget.
Plus, in Vancouver, a gathering of family, friends, and car lovers, all in memory of one man.
It's hard. Things are going to be different without him around.
And a Portland family reaching out after a drunk driving crash forces them out of their home.
As soon as I saw the damage, it was our life is turned upside down.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. People in Minneapolis are paying tribute to the man shot and killed by federal agents as a sidewalk memorial grows. Officials with the Department of Homeland Security said a Border Patrol agent fired in self-defense after a man who had a handgun resisted their attempts to disarm him. But new questions as eyewitness videos show something different than what federal officials say happened in that confrontation. Camilla Bernal has the latest.
Come on! Come on!
Tonight, tensions flaring.
It is our duty, it is our right!
Crowds back out on the streets in Minneapolis, demanding answers after 37-year-old Alex Preddy was shot and killed by a federal agent Saturday morning. The shooting itself captured by several witnesses. Federal officials say Preddy approached Border Patrol agents armed with this semi-automatic handgun and violently resisted attempts to disarm him. The agents, according to DHS, were conducting a targeted operation.
We can't have individuals that are impeding law enforcement operations and then showing up with guns and weapons and no ID and confronting law enforcement like that.
State and city leaders say what they've seen doesn't match the account. This latest incident coming 2.5 weeks after the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
This is an inflection point, America. So my question is, what's the plan, Donald Trump? What is the plan?
Sisters Andrea and Stacy Saros arrived at the scene immediately after the shooting.
What is it that makes you emotional?
Because why? This is not necessary. Leave. I don't know how these people sleep at night.
And in a lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court against DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and other Department of Homeland Security officials, a pediatrician filed a sworn affidavit declaring that instead of administering CPR to Preddy, the agents appeared to be counting his bullet wounds. DHS did not reply to our request for comment Sunday, but has said medics immediately tended to Preddy. His family says he was an ICU nurse at a VA hospital in Minneapolis, remembering him as a kind-hearted soul and a good man.
He cared about people deeply, and he was very upset with what was happening in Minneapolis.
He loved this country, but he hated what people were doing to it.
Preddy's parents rejecting the administration's claim their son was a threat, as calls grow louder for federal officers to leave the city.
Well, people in our area also taking time to remember Preddy. There was a candlelight vigil in front of the Forest Grove Library earlier this evening. Organizers wanted to create a space for people to grieve and express their outrage, both with the killings and the federal government's immigration crackdown.
Alex Preddy died defending another woman as she was being brutalized by ICE. Renee Good died because she was defending her neighborhood against ICE. Over and over, the government is telling us, these are our enemies, these are domestic terrorists. We are not domestic terrorists. We just care about our neighbors.
The group behind this vigil, Indivisible Forest Grove, says the event is also meant to build solidarity within the local community, even if the shooting happened in a different state. And in Portland, police tell us they arrested 4 people last night who were protesting outside the ICE facility on South Macadam. Hundreds gathered last night in response to that second deadly shooting in Minneapolis. The charges of the 4 arrested range from disorderly conduct to attempted assault. 2 of them had allegedly interfered with a police vehicle. One tried to take the plywood off the ICE facility, and the last one is accused of throwing glass candles at federal officers. Well, I'm sure we all have been enjoying the nice sunny and dry weather over the last couple of weeks, but believe it or not, it's January and we're going to see some changes in the next couple of days. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri has more on what the week ahead is going to look like. Joe?
Hey, good evening to you, John. All day tomorrow is going to be dry, and a good portion of Tuesday is going to be dry, but we're still going to be looking at some cool mornings, although it won't be as cold as we saw earlier today. So that ridge of high pressure that we saw pretty much all weekend is going to be pushing off to the east. Now we're starting to see this disturbance move on shore along parts of the Oregon coast, bringing in some light showers tonight and into tomorrow. Most of the measurable amount of rain will fall basically from Astoria and in Newport. You travel south into Bandon along Highway 101, you are dry here the next couple of days. Now I want to go into later Tuesday. Again, we stay dry until late Tuesday night into Wednesday, and this is what our rainfall amounts are going to be looking like all the way into the end of the week and potentially the first part of next weekend, closing in on close to 2 inches of rain. But I have a feeling this is a little overdone. This is only one model. Other models are showing maybe a half of an inch of rain by the end of the week. But regardless, we are going to be seeing back to a January kind of forecast. And yeah, this is what we woke up to earlier this morning. Widespread frost, which we'll see tomorrow again, but our temperatures will not be in the upper teens to low 20s. They'll be just above freezing in many locations. We'll talk more about your detailed forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. We'll see you later in the show. New tonight, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office has recovered the body of a hiker who fell from Mount Hood. Witnesses called 911 around 9:45 this morning after they said they saw a climber fall about 300 feet near Devil's Kitchen. The search and rescue team started recovery after finding the climber's body. The Sheriff's Office will not identify the climber until they let their family know. A vigil held today for a man shot and killed after a fight at a Vancouver bar. Family and friends celebrating the life of shooting victim Corey Jones this afternoon. Jay Coulter was at the vigil, which had a certain automotive element to it.
This car meet the centerpiece of Sunday's memorial for Corey Jones, as cars were one of his many passions.
He was an amazing man, super goofy, very caring.
On January 3rd, Corey Jones was shot and killed in the parking lot outside Off-Ramp Sports Bar in Vancouver. Jones was 43, leaving behind his wife of 18 years, 5 kids, a foster kid, and 2 grandkids, as well as many friends.
Beyond shocking. I would have never thought that he would have been in a position to be where he was.
Tiffany West, who has been close to the Jones family for almost 20 years, organized the car meetup as a memorial to Corey.
I've literally seen this man take his shirt off and give it to somebody else that needed it more. So we are mourning a very big loss.
Mark Stackhouse met Corey just last year.
I think he could get along with anybody. I mean, just the nicest guy. I mean, I liked him as soon as I met him.
Stackhouse, one of those who brought a car to the meetup.
And that's why he was a fixture out at Orchards Cars and Coffee. The guy was out there every Sunday.
Corey's widow spoke briefly at the vigil.
It really does mean a lot. Orchards, Cars and Coffee and the car community is a big part of him, and I just really do appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to come and just celebrate him.
A celebration of life for Jones will be held Saturday the 31st at City Harvest Church. Jay Coulter, KGW News.
In Cowlitz County, a deputy coroner is recovering in the hospital after she was nearly killed by a car early Saturday morning. The coroner's office says it started when Deputy Coroner Justine Enriquez responded to a crash that killed the driver on Spirit Lake Highway in Castle Rock, Washington. She was finishing her investigation when a different driver, possibly speeding and under the influence, entered the crash scene and hit her. The driver, Michael Sturgill, was arrested. Enriquez is recovering in the hospital after having to go through surgery. A local family is trying to piece their lives back together after a drunk driver crashed into their living room early Saturday morning. To make matters worse, the incident happened just days after the couple both lost their jobs when a local restaurant went out of business.
Amber and Kayla Green were asleep in their East Portland home early Saturday morning when out of nowhere, this SUV slammed through the wall and into their home.
As soon as I saw the damage, it was our life is turned upside down. This is not going to be an easy thing for us to deal with right now.
These photos show the damage done to the couple's living room. The collision left furniture strewn across the floor and their TV barely clinging to the wall.
Our house is currently unlivable. We have a huge hole in the wall with a car still in it.
As of Sunday afternoon, the SUV remained wedged in the home, with crews fearing removing it would cause the roof to collapse. The couple's landlord believes the Greens, their teenage son, 3 cats, and a dog, won't be able to move back in for over a month. They are currently staying at a hotel near Oregon City. The incident comes just days after Amber and Kayla both lost their jobs when the restaurant they were working at abruptly went out of business.
I feel like if we had income and we had a job, like this would just feel less stressful, but it's like everything was ripped from us at once.
A GoFundMe has been started to help raise money for the family as they try to make ends meet while looking for new jobs. The Greens want to thank members of the community who have stepped up to help them out.
Every way that everyone has shown their support for us is truly amazing.
Portland police arrested the driver for DUII. The Greens tell me the man actually returned on Saturday afternoon and apologized to them for what happened. Super Bowl 60 is now set. It will be the New England Patriots facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. That's after the Seahawks knocked off the LA Rams in the NFC Championship game earlier today, 31-27, to punch their ticket to the big game. Quarterback Sam Darnold led the way for the Hawks. He threw for 3 touchdowns. This will be the Seahawks' 4th Super Bowl appearance and first time they will go to the big game in 11 years. Some Hawks fans that didn't make it to Lumen Field in Seattle could be found at a Vancouver Convention Center. This watch party was organized by the Southwest Washington Hawkers Booster Club.
A lot of the group is season ticket holders, so they are up in Seattle, they're at the game. But for the away games, this place is packed. Home games like this one and even Super Bowl, it'll be even more packed. But no, it's a great thing, and it's good for the community to have a spot to watch the game together.
Look like a lot of fun out there. Super Bowl 60 will take place on February 8th at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. We'll break down tonight's game even further later on in Sports Sunday.